I am finally going to do it. That is getting cleaned out today. So Monday morning, just come down with a scraper tractor to scrape out the shed behind me. I thought as it's rained overnight, it's softened everything up. I'm going to scrape out that race and all that handling system, ready for TB testing in the morning. I'm hoping there's a squeege in this shed somewhere. Hello sheep. Sheep are all inside for scanning today, so that's going on down at the big sheep shed down the bottom. Now I know on Friday, when this was all bedded up and the sheep were put in here, that there were 2 brushes, a shovel, a fork and a squeege here in this shed. So where the dickens have they gone over the weekend? Stuff just disappears around here. I don't know if that's the same on every farm. Around here, if you leave something unattended for a minute, gone. Squeegee acquired. I just went around to the workshop to look for one and my car was moving along the yard. I thought, what the hell's going on? I parked it in the way and John was just shifting it. I thought I was being robbed in broad daylight. Anyway, we'll try and catch up with the sheep team and see how their scanning went in a little while. I'm going to spend a bit of time here doing this bit of squeegeeing, which I'm sure you'll all be egging me on to do because I've been mentioning it for the last however long. The majority of it is fairly easy. You can get in with a tractor, but it's this bit in here. That bit's not easy. This might take me a minute. Make a space for a bit more. Right, I'm now sweating. I've scraped out all the race, all up to here, this big pile. Take it that way. I mentioned I got a haircut. Glad I did. Sweating like nothing. But look, nice and clean. All ready for tomorrow. Now I do know that tomorrow, by the end of the day, after doing all the testing, that will look exactly like it did before I started this morning, but it's just no good. Cows wading through slurry and muck. It's no good for their feet. It's no good for us. They splash it everywhere. So if I got an opportunity like this morning to do it, might as well clean it out. Right, let's do some scraping. Right, do a bit of tidying and we'll be done. All tidied up. Right, that is going to be enough squeeging for me. We're going to scrape it out. I'm already behind doing the bedding. We do have the yard work to do as well, so let's get this scraped out. Now at the weekend, we made a video on our Back My Place channel about my sort of farming story and how I got to where I am. I said in there somewhere that you need to surround yourself with the right people in life to get where you want to get to. Now this morning, I came into work and the first thing I said to John was, "Cool, I am dying for a cup of tea." It's normally the first thing I do when I get up is have a cup of tea. Anyway, this morning I forgot, or I didn't, or I can't remember what I did, I was just busy. And whilst I was scraping out there, John bought me a cup of tea in a flask. Surround yourself with Bowmans. That's the moral of this story. Although I'm not quite sure what sort of monstrosity he's loaded on here, but we'll see. Here comes some ewe lambs. They're going down to be scanned as well. Now they won't all be in lamb. Perhaps only half of them will be, but whatever's not in lamb will have another go next year. Right, we've just got to stop a minute because the ewe lambs are coming back up into the sheep handling behind me. It's the one sort of weak point of our system here is whenever you want to handle sheep in either this shed here, I mean to be fair this did used to be the sheep shed, but into the sheep handling from the big sheep shed down the bottom, you've got to shut off the entire yard, so we can't get at the beef shed, can't get at this shed I'm in where the calves are very easy to do anything. Everything just takes time. I can see him coming though. I had a bit of an issue with a calf in here as well this morning, which is something completely stupid. I'll show you a bit more about it later on. So the annoying thing that happened with the calf this morning, it's actually happened once before. Now I came in here to bed up the calves and normally they all run the opposite end of the shed when you come in here with the tractor, and one stayed here. And I thought, what the hell was wrong with him? I thought he had his head stuck through here to start with, but he actually had this stuck through the side of his mouth. Now these chains are here to lift these up off the floor, so they're designed, that one's actually upside down, they're supposed to go on these hinges, and if you're feeding cattle you have them shut down, if you're feeding sheep you flip them up. We've hardly ever used, well, we've never used them actually in full force since I've been working here. A lot of the chains are like this, they're absolutely knackered, they're missing the clip bit, so they're not very safe. So I always tie them up. Now last year I was going to cut them off, and I was persuaded not to because they might come in handy one day. Problem is the calves play with them and then they end up like this. And if they jump up to get their mouth on that, that is sharp, that just goes through their lip. And so this year it's happened again and I'm just sod it, they're coming off. They're only attached by a little welded ring in the corners anyway. So if I can separate that clamp and take them off, or cut them off, or do whatever. If we ever need to put them back on, we can just put a little D-clip, or you know, something, a little bolt through, if we want to put them back on. But now we've done the feed rails like this with the tech screws into the bars, I don't think we'll ever need to. If we want to put sheep in here again, which is unlikely with the amount of sheep that we now have, we can just do what we've done up there and lower them down 6 inches. It's very similar to the scaffold poles in the shed next door. If you want to put older cattle in there, you take them off, put young cattle in there, put the bars on, you can raise and lower them really, really quickly and really easily with a nut gun and the scaffold clamps. So I got my bolt cutters here and they're coming off because I'm not going to ruin another calf's mouth. The one that got caught, as soon as I let it out, I had to free it, he just went down there and started eating. I think he was hungry. So hopefully no damage done. We've given it a shot of anti-inflammatory and an antibiotic as well, just to cover it, because chain's probably not the cleanest thing in the world. But it's just so frustrating. I should have taken them off last year. I'm annoyed at myself. There you are, first one off. Now that's still a very usable piece of chain. The clip's knackered. Well, this one actually works. So we'll leave that intact. Half of them are broken and knackered and never going to be any good anyway, so there's no point in leaving them on. Got all my friendly calves here saying hello. Morning, buddy. How are you? Oh, yes, I know you're friendly. Oh. Now, one thing I found quite handy is when breaking these with the bolt cutters, is half the clip decides to fly away. So as long as I keep my eye on where it goes, this is my magnet mount for my GoPro. So I just put that on the floor wherever I see it land, and it picks it up, look. What we don't want is that going into the calves' either feet or their gut. That would be very, very bad news. But so far I've managed to get them all. I've got a bucket here beside me, absolutely full with broken bits of chain length. This will be a good job done when I get this done, because I'm flipping annoyed about it. Anyway, can't do anything about it now, other than this. It'll be right for next time. It is a theme here at North Wyke though, over the years of when sheds have been built, they'll pick the most overcomplicated fashion of trying to do stuff. It's like that, why not just have a bar you can start up and down like we've had next door? Some poor bugger's gone through the heartache of having to weld all those in there, make up all the lengths of chain and all the clips. Just have a bar, or just do that. See, look, we can move it up and down, see it's got a hole there. Why do you need to overcomplicate it? I just don't get it. Do not get it. Put my hand underneath, so 9 times out of 10 I can catch the bit that breaks off like that. Slip out the broken half. I come off the chain, so I've got a load of broken bits like that. And then I'm left with a perfectly good length of chain. But most of them, like this, are no good. Length of chain's always handy to have around though. Are you putting money on one going behind that door?
I think they'll all go under that gate.
What does this Jano want? I'm just watching a masterclass unfold.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Some fantastic gate arrangement. I wonder if they'll go through that gap. Go on, John, take one for the team. Skirting! Yeah, see, that's why you have them across. Look. You're quite quick over 10 yards. I had to stay here and hold the camera, so I was no use. So they're all in lamb, are they?
Yeah.
That's the ewe lambs?
Yeah, it's a lot better than we thought.
So what was the scanning results?
Well, the ewe lambs are only 77%, but it's about numbers rather than...
Well, Andy said if he got half of those in lamb, he'd be happy, so
yeah.
that's good.
Bonus.
What about the actual ewes? Yows? Ewes, yows?
Scanning was alright, but more empties than we wanted.
Oh. So what's these over here?
These are our breeding flocks.
So they're the replacements.
Yeah, replacements.
What's A2 over there?
They're the empties.
Oh,
They're going to get a
Those
lovely
two
trip
done.
down to Cornwall.
Eh?
What's those two done? They're not in land. though.
Not enough, John.
They're for sale, John. Highest bidder. Would you like some?
You've got some.
no.
You've got some
No.
empty shed space, haven't
I have not. No.
They look lovely.
I'm only allowed large ruminants, not small ruminants. There's a clause in the contract. Well, this lot are much better behaved so far.
There you go.
Well, hey,
Just like that.
hooray!
Not too good.
Oh, it's having a management meeting here. We're all there. Right, time to do a bit of a calf mix. They've run out of food. And then as we're TB testing tomorrow, we're going to fill the wagon back up with what we feed the cows in the morning. And then everything else has been double fed for tomorrow. So just do one mix to chuck in for the cows. So if it's in the wagon, ready to go, that saves us a job in the morning when we're going to be busy. Now, one thing that will happen, or is supposed to be happening tomorrow when we TB test, is testing for yonis, doing a blood sample from all the breeding animals. But we just need to check, there's a pheasant down here, with the vets whether we can do it or not, because the guidance on yonis testing is not to do it within 3 months of your last TB test. And of course we are in the 60-day cycle at the moment of TB testing. So we're just going to check. There's no point doing it if it's going to throw up a load of false results. But at the same time, we want to do it because we want to know our yoni situation. We don't want to be keeping yonis positive cows, or definitely not breeding replacements from them. So Mel is going to check with the vets on that one. If they say don't do it, that's not the end of the world, because it's one less person required, and it's an awful lot of time saved, because it's a very laborious job. You've got to take blood out of the tail of every animal you want to test, and there's 140 odd animals to do, plus the 4 bulls. They don't really enjoy it too much, but we'll see what they say. So I'm just doing this calf mix. They get half a kilo of wheat distillers per head per day, and they get 0.8 of a kilo of wheat per head per day. So for a 2-day mix, 120 kilos of this. There they are. My watch didn't charge last night, which is most annoying, because I feel lost without it. I might, once I've done this for the calves, load up the cow mix for the morning, and then, depending on time, go down to where me and Phil tipped the dung the other day and push all that up into a heap. We haven't done that yet. It's a windy one, boys. I just got to put a bit of wheat in, then you can have it in. We want about, give or take, 700 kilos of silage. Should be no problem. On this silage pit, the top layer is a lot darker because it's a lot wetter silage. It was the stuff we cut the morning that we picked all the rest of it up, so it's sealed the pit really nice. It was really easy to compact, and it's done a really, really good job of what we wanted it to do. There's about 600 kilos in that gravel. Look at that, all nicely chopped. That smells amazing. I've come down to push up the last of this dung that me and Phil brought down last week. John asked me to make a rough calculation of how much dung is here. So what I thought I'd do is take a picture of it and send it to him. I've got no idea. Heaps of the stuff. Tons upon tons. But I'm going to try and push it up without incorporating too much of this stone, because otherwise it will end up on the fields. Someone was asking about the polytunnels in the last video. They used to be used for various experiments. They're now sort of storage huts. They've obviously seen better days. The roofs have all completely gone on them. Somebody said about like lambing or carving them, or using them as cow housing. I know people that have lambed in polytunnels and got on very well with it. It's a bit of a shame to see them in the state they're in, really. It could be very useful for someone. I don't know how much you'll be able to see from your location. Basically, this is a push it up have another go, push it up, have another go kind of job. We get a big old bucket full. Sometimes the Manitou thinks you're being a bit greedy, taking too much. Sort of just flipping it over on its end. And then you do the same again, and eventually you end up pushing it into a big old heap. Careful not to take any of the stone on the floor with it. You want the stone to stay there. In a minute I'll put you outside so you can see a bit more from a bit of a better angle. Oh my word! Low. Nice to see the Ministry of Defence just checking up on our mucky. Very valuable this. And down here we are a little bit off of the beaten stone track, so we're really careful how we pick this stuff up. That's about half of it shifted, so all of this area here was done, same as it is here. Just scooped it up there. Nice, look at it steaming away. Rotting down, composting. That'll be beautiful stuff to spread after first cut. I'm going to try and set you guys up around here somewhere, you can see it all happening a bit. How about here? Right, I think I'm about done. I don't know if I can produce a before and after shot. We'll give it a go. Now I know that Manitou's hydraulics are nowhere near the quickest on the old telehandler market. The likes of a JCB would be well quicker, but my God, does it have some pushing power. It was just refusing to stop. You go into the pile, didn't know when to say no. Now I have no idea how much dung is here. Heaps of the stuff. Why don't we have a guess in the comments? I don't really know how I'm going to get a picture for John. I have to tell him just to come and look at it. But last year Thomas Robinson spread this for us with his gang of spreaders. They've all like set up with weigh cells and, you know, the full works on the back of their spreaders, vary spread and vary rate and whatever. I know, I'll take a picture of it with the Manitou as a scale. Right, I'm heading back. You see there's a bit there. If I really wanted to I could keep pushing because there's a bit of a gap behind, but there's not a lot of point. We've got all this space here, so yeah, done. Pretty much the end of the day as well. The evenings are drawing out a bit. Right, John's just gone around that corner in big boots. We just topped up the coolant. It's gone blimmin' cold again tonight. So TB testing tomorrow is looking like it's going to be tipping with rain, which is good fun. It's always an added benefit to TB testing. The weather's normally horrendous. So we'll let you know how we get on with that. I probably won't film any of it because it's a long enough day anyway. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to go down to the links in the description if you want to see our other channel, all my other socials, as well as our sponsors, Mason's Kings and Tapari. We'll see you guys on another video very soon. Cheerio.